Welcome, my name is Brandon Wendell and I am a senior instructor for Online Trading Academy. Today I'm going to give you a little insight into some simple technical analysis techniques that you can use to profit in the markets. When we're looking at charts, typically the most common type of chart that most people look at is going to be a candlestick chart. But do you know the three major things you really need to focus on when trying to analyze price? Well, if you don't, I'm going to explain them for you right now. The first one is color. The first thing we look at when we're taking a look at charts is what is the overall color. A green candle typically indicates that price has moved up during that particular period. A red candle indicates that price has moved to the downside during that period and closed lower than they had opened. So when we're looking and trying to identify the direction of the market or the direction of our stock, we should focus simply on the color. Which one is dominating? If we look at this particular chart, which I have here on L&T, we can see that there's predominantly green candles as we're moving to the upside. That's an indication that we are in a bullish market. If the colors start to change, however, and become mixed between red and green with no clear domination, then we may be getting into a possible turning point of the market and a potential reversal as well. When we go forward, and I'll just go ahead and scroll forward here for a little bit, you can see that when we start to move into a very bearish downward trend, we're going to have a dominance of red candles. Well, that's number one, color. The next one we want to look at is size. The size of the candle also gives us clues as to how strong the momentum may be. If you see a very small candle, such as we notice here at the top of this price movement, that indicates indecision. Price was unavailable, or I should say unable, to move higher, and the momentum has died off because both the sellers and the buyers are equally matched. When we see large candles as we start moving to the downside, that indicates that the pressure is building to the downside and there's a dominance of sellers over buyers. Conversely, when we see large green candles, or mostly green candles as we had before in the upward trend here, that tells us that the momentum is gaining to the upside and we want to stay long and not book profits too early. The last thing is going to be shape. We also need to pay attention to the shape of our candles as they give us lots of information to some of the momentum and the momentum shifts in the market as well. Notice as we're moving to the upside, we see once again smaller candles coming up, and right there we have at the very top of that little peak a small candle that has almost no color to it. Sure, it's colored red because there might have been a slightly lower close than we had from the open. But overall, that small body and small candle, that shows us indecision and lack of commitment for the trend. Another really clear signal that usually happens at the turning point of a market would be something like this second to last candle I have on my chart. It is a green candle. And you might say, well, Brandon, you said a green candle is bullish. It would normally be a bullish candle because we did close higher than we had originally opened. However, when we are looking at this candle, we must also take note of the shape. The topping tail that you see there shows the high that the price was able to achieve. The fact that we could not close at that high lets us know that the sellers took control of that particular time frame on the security, and there's actually selling pressure getting ready to push the price down. Well, with that selling pressure coming in and lack of upward momentum because it is a relatively small candle, we are not supposed to be surprised to see a retreat in price. So just remember, when you're trading, we want to look at size, color, and shape to get an indication of how price and therefore your shares may be moving in the near-term future. Until I see you next time, thank you again for your time. My name is Brandon Wendell with Online Trading Academy, and I hope to see you soon.